So we were given the Charlotte Observer dilemma. A week before a general election, they're faced with an ethical dilemma. There are three candidates competing for two positions in counties of North and South Carolina. When a reporter was investigating the candidates, he discovered that one of the candidates had ties with the Ku Klux Klan. When asking the candidate, he denied having anything to do with the Klan. However, with further investigation, the reporter found someone in the town who confirmed that he was in the Klan, but that he had gone straight for years and found that the Klan activities he was involved in happened more than 10 years ago. The reporter felt it was her responsibility to share the background of the candidate to the public. The reporter then called the candidate with her new information, and he confirmed his interaction with the Klan, but pleaded with the reporter to not run the story, saying that he left that fact out of his life. He left that part of his life in the past. Even his family didn't know. When a friend of the candidate came to the reporter's office, begging her to not run the story, he went on to explain that the candidate had been a spy for the FBI and did all undercover, and exposing this part of his life would cause serious consequences. So they were faced with two options. One was to go ahead with the original Klan story, but it wouldn't be the truth. The other would be to expose the candidate and show how he was a true patriot, but this could also cause him to end up dead and other people at harm. The reporter didn't like either of these options, and telling only part of the story could get the newspaper accused of withholding information. The reporter started wrestling with whether she should report the story at all. As she talked more with the candidate decided to pull out of the race. The Observer decided to print the story, but not to expose the behind-the-scenes part.
And like Glynis just said, why this is why this is a question of ethics, is because the Charlotte Observer had three options.
Sorry.
Number one option would be to print the original story and report some of the facts, but it wouldn't serve the whole truth. Option two would be to print the true story, which would serve the public in the fairest way possible, letting the readers decide what they thought of the facts. However, it could put the candidate in physical danger. Option three, do nothing. This would leave everyone unsatisfied. The original story about the candidate's Klan involvement would somehow come back to the surface, and the newspaper could be held responsible for withholding relevant facts about the story, with no way to explain why the newspaper had done what they did.
Yes. So on one side of the story, he did pull out of the race. So what's the harm in releasing what he said on the record to the public, like him being part of the Ku Klux Klan? We could publish the story of him being involved in the KKK and could destroy his career, or we could expose him for being a spy in the Klan and putting his life and possibly others in danger, or we could not publish anything. The third question, on the other hand, because he did pull out of the race, why could the story still be relevant? There really isn't any, I believe. I don't know about you. Also, they asked for it to not to be put into a story because it could go under more investigation. The journalist could be in the newspaper too. Higher up, this could be really bad because they didn't want him to risk his undercover work with the FBI. We only know that he was undercover and prevented KKK involvement, and we know that he prevented catastrophes that could have happened, but we don't know specifically what he did. So
I agree with what you just said there.
Good.
That there's not really a good way to take this either side. That, I mean, you just kind of have to pick what's best for the candidate and go with that.
Well, we truly don't know how far up this investigation can go.
Yeah.
And we don't know how negatively it can affect others. So I don't see, since he did pull out of the race, why this is relevant anymore. Because ultimately, they decided to post the story, and they posted it underneath, on the front page.
The original story.
Underneath.
Underneath the fold.
The fold,
Yeah.
excuse me. Yes. So. I
Down to number
believe
4.
that I believe that this focuses on the utilitarianism rule of ethics, because one would have to risk yourself with running this story. Does the end justify the means? So we would have to question ourselves. I don't think that risking any life to expose a story is a good enough reason to print it.
Yeah. And a couple more I thought about. I would have to think that the best ethical solution here would be one that involved principles from the Judeo-Christian set of ethics, that you should do unto others as you would have them do to you. I think this set of ethics allows you to hypothetically put yourself in the situation of the candidate and picture the real implications of what could happen. And if we choose to take the side of egalitarianism, I think that's how you say that, or a veil of ignorance, and let people make up their own minds about what they thought of the facts, then whatever might happen to this candidate as a result of being fair to the truth and fair to all parties involved, that would potentially be on your hands. Like, you would set into motion whatever would happen to this candidate, and you would be responsible for it because you reported it and you let that truth rise to the surface.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ultimately, our ultimate decision is the Judeo-Christian set of ethics. Do you agree, Glennis?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of? What do you mean by sort of?
I think that the ends needs to justify the means, which would be the utilitarianism. I just feel like, it touches base on, like, would you, the Christian more view with this, the utilitarian way that you were talking about, but I feel as if the other one speaks more of other people.
Okay.
And the ends justifying the means. And I don't think that exposing a story about a patriot who did good for our country is going to do anything, because I don't want to hurt anyone. I would never want to hurt anyone by something that I would write.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the Judeo-Christian wouldn't hurt anyone. That, like, your reputation doesn't want to be damaged, but you don't want to put your life in danger. And I don't want my life to be in danger if I was in that situation.
Right.
So that's why I chose that one. So we kind of have like a mutual agreement. We also are on two different sides. So we kind of agree and disagree.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that is our 2 cents we have to offer. And thank you for joining Glennis and Jeff's video blog.
Bye.
Bye.